I'm Casey Nelms from Royston, Georgia. My son and I came to Santee Cooper in the spring of '84. We came down to fish a catfish tournament out of Randolph's Landing. It was a state tournament at that time. And it was our first attempt to use the drift and drag technique in the lake to catch catfish. The rig was pretty primitive at that time. We don't have the type sinkers and the hooks that are used today. We were able to drift and drag. My son actually caught the first fish I know of on a true drift and drag outfit that was a 40-pound fish, and we was able to back that up with a 47 and a 40, and we placed second in the tournament, plus we had big fish using the drift and drag at that tournament in the spring of '84. That is how it all started. The rig we was using that time was a pretty basic rig. We used a 36-inch leader, and above that we had a sliding bail sinker on the line. We would let the fish hit and run back in those days. This was prior to the circle hook. We'd let them hit and run, throw it in gear and really set the hook hard. But we were using a 36-inch leader, 50-pound leader, basically 30-pound line most of the time, and that was the basic rig that we started drifting and dragging in Santee with. Using the rig back in those days, of course we was hanging up a lot, and we was constantly breaking off and tying a lot of knots. I kept experimenting a little bit or thinking about what's hanging. Is it the hook, is it the weight, or what's going on? And just kind of by accident one day I found some crappie floats in my boat, and I decided, well, let's put this out there between the weight and the hook and suspend the bait off the bottom. And I didn't know if it was going to run the fish off or what was going to happen, but with just luck, that day the fish was biting, and we caught a lot of good fish with using the float, and the hang-up rate was reduced drastically. The next step to get the rig a little bit better, I started playing with weights, and I was in Alaska in '86 and I actually discovered a slinky weight salmon fishing in the Kenai River, and I brought some of those home with me and started using them on the drift and drag rig in place of the bail sinker, and found out that helped that much more, and that ended up being the basic Santee drift rig that was used for many years. This is the basic Santee drift rig that I'm using today. The rig consists of a 36-inch leader, 50-pound mono. On that we're using circle hooks at this time. Above that is a 2.5-inch crappie float. On back to our swivel where the slinky drifter is attached. The purpose of the float in this system is, of course, the weight is going to be on the bottom. The float will suspend the bait up off the bottom quite a ways, and then it's dropped back down, so you're actually drifting across the bottom with your bait suspended several inches off the bottom, which prevents a lot of hang-ups, and it's proved to be very effective for me to this day. I'm still using it today.